Happy Monday, guys. Welcome to the Plug Talk Sports episode number 97. We're getting close to number 100. Last week, we were going to have an episode, but then I just couldn't, man. I just couldn't have the episode and have the NBA Finals on at the same time. So I was like, I think it's better if we just postpone till next week, even though we lost, but it was worth it. I couldn't have the podcast and watch the TV at the same time. But anyways, usual suspects, myself, Danny Torres, we got Janka, Brandon, and we have a special guest here today. Her name is Isabella Ruiz. You go to it's Archbishop McCarthy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She's a senior, and now I have to tell you guys a little story. This is how I came across her. So FSPA it's some sort of I would say journalism and broadcast convention that happens in Orlando every year. And obviously I've gone now the last 2 years with Columbus with my boys. And there is a competition called PTI, which you guys know PTI show, the sports show. So they give you topics and then you have to try to, do a whole PTI segment. So here I am the night before. I'm confident. I'm training my boys. We got this in the bag. So I sit down and here comes Isa. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. We got two girls doing this. Okay, this is interesting. Guys, I kid you not. When she finished, I literally sat back and I was like, oh, shit. I'm scared now. I'm scared that we might lose this. It was so good. Let me tell you, it was so good that I don't know if you remember this. I got up and I walked over to you and I was like, that was a hell of a job. Great job.
Yeah. I remember you introduced me. You're like, oh, I'm a professional commentator. And I was like, there's no way. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then funny enough, now she is helping us. She's a counselor in our summer camp for CCNN Live. So our paths crossed again, and I told her, I got to get you. I got to get you on the podcast, at least for an episode or however much you want. You can write for the website. Guys, she is super talented, and I'm just happy to have her here and join the crew and deal with us for at least an hour because you know how we are.
Thank you for having me.
No, of course. So, Isa, the way we start off our podcast is we usually say one bad thing or one good thing. We do both. It can be sports related. It can be non-sports related that's happened in the past week. So I'm going to let you think about it. We'll start with bad news first. I'm going to start with Brandon. Do you got anything with us? Bad news, anything in the past week?
No, yeah. Probably bad news. Terrible news, if I have to say it. Definitely has got to be the bank account looking right now. I kid you not, because again, Father's Day, we all celebrate Father's Day. But at the same time, I got technically two fathers, a stepdad and my actual dad. So one day, I had to go out, buy a gift for him, then buy a gift for my dad. And also, mind you, this was down Miami. So I'm driving down to Miami. Then I drive back. And in a weekend, I spent $200, $300, whatnot. And also another thing, because next to FIU's Biscayne campus, I went to visit some place that had sold burgers, fries, and a drink, $25. And that's not even with a tip. So I kid you not, my bank account, I just it's like I'm getting shy every single time I look at the numbers. It was just terrible to look at.
Oh, I feel that, bro. Janka?
For me, I guess it's continuation from last week. Despite my Yankees getting back Giancarlo Stanton and a bunch of other players, each of their starters is hitting below 0.1. So everybody's either 0 point something, and I'm depressed at this point.
Isa, you got something? What's something bad that happened to you in the past week or anything you saw?
Bad? Oh, I'm gonna go with the SAT score. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't
okay.
miss I don't mind. I got two actually. Brandon, you made me think of one. So I was in the Bahamas last weekend, and the resort I was at had a casino. And I was having a good time. I was in a slot machine. I got up to $80, and I was like, "Oh man, I got to $80." I wanted to cash out. I'm not gonna lie, But I looked at my dad. I had inserted a 20. I looked at my dad and he was like, no, keep going, keep going. I was like, so I keep playing and slowly my 80 decreased to 40 cents. So I cashed out my 40 cents. And so I go to some machine nearby. A lady sits on the same exact machine I was on and wins $50,000. This is where I looked because I was there with like family, friends. I looked at everybody and I was like, good night. I'm going to my room. I quit. I was so pissed. But that's just the way casinos go. And the second one, I went to Putt Shack this weekend in Brickell, which is, I don't know, Brandon, if you've heard of it, but it's like this little putt golf type of thing. It's like 21 and over. I'm not going back. Like it was, first of all, it was a mess. Like I wanted one drink. So I had like a small drink of tequila. They charged me $30 for one drink of tequila. I was like, are you serious? So anyways, that keeps going. Like that happened. And then plus like the $30 for parking. And then the 18 to actually play, which you had to wait an hour in line to play. Some lady passed out behind us in line. And luckily, one of my good friends is a firefighter, and he had to treat her, and he had to carry her outside. It was an interesting time, but definitely not going back there again.
Man, I mean, I hate when, like, especially for the slot machines, though, man. Like, right after, I mean, that's got to be something, man. That's got to be something. Like, you know, like the picture where, like, the guy's mining, and there's Diamond Ryan on the other end, and he just stops immediately. That was you, Danny. That was an IRL, and I hate to use that acronym because who uses IRL in real life? But that was you.
Dude, honestly, like, with my luck, like, that sort of stuff happens, unfortunately. But back to you, Brandon. Something good. Tell me something good.
Well, for the past few episodes, I've been wearing the jerseys of the teams that, of course, have been keeping me high in hopes, and I'm high in hopes on American soccer, as I'm wearing a U.S. men's national team. They won for the, I believe it's Nations CONCACAF, which is just, again, it looked too easy. It looked way too easy. Through Mexico, 3-0, through Canada, which is a team that, ended up winning out the CONCACAF region for the World Cup as number one. We ended up beating them 2-0 in front of a crowd that was just sparsely even there. I mean, why even show it when it's going to be a blowout? So the United States got the job done, had to put a smile on my face. And honestly, I don't even care about the beer halter, rehiring and all that stuff. I think, honestly, this is a team that can be a top 10, if not top 5 in the next few I don't want to say next few years, but in a decade or so, U.S. soccer stock will be risen to the top 3.
I can get on board with that. Janka?
I'm gonna do.
Did you get a haircut, by the way?
Yeah, I got it.
I was about to say, you're looking like an Italian mafia boss over there.
I'm gonna do 2 things. This just came out right now, like as you guys were talking. Miami Hurricanes football just landed a 4-star running back, Kevin Riley. He's the 5th ranked running back in the class of 2024 and top 85th player in the class. So another good hit. He's a running back, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Oh yeah, if you guys know me, I'm the anime guy here.
Oh.
But recently, this weekend just came out. The new Black Clover movie came out. 10 out of 10.
Nice.
I suggest you guys watch it. 10 out of 10. Please go watch it. It's so good. Shout out to Netflix, even though they did screw me on those passwords, by the way. Really good movie. Excellent movie.
Isa, you're up.
I'm going to say 2 things. I'm going to say I've been learning a lot at CCNN camp, so that's a good thing, and that the Gators are going strong in Omaha. So,
I gotta know your teams because I don't know your teams yet. So wait, hold on. Do you have a favorite baseball team?
Yeah, I'm actually a Red Sox fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Red Sox and Yankees in here. Okay, that's interesting. So we got Marlins, Yankees, Red Sox, and then myself, Dodgers. Football?
Dallas Cowboys.
That's cool. That's right. I know that. I knew that. Woo! Let's go, baby. We got 2 in here. Now it won't be only me talking.
We got a professional Florida team, though. Just want to double check.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so definitely the Heat and then the Panthers. And
Okay.
in college, I'm always a Gator.
Okay, I respect that. It's better than this guy. This guy is friggin' annoying with the Hurricanes.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm happy FIU beat them.
Catch our 5 first.
All right. Something good. I actually have to go with Brandon's take. USA Soccer. They beat Mexico, beat the living crap out of Mexico, which I was super happy about.
Yep.
There's actually one of our campers who was telling me like 2 days before, he's Mexican, and he was like, "You guys are gonna lose. You guys are gonna lose." And then now he won't even speak to me. So poor kid. Like
it broke his heart.
Every time he sees me, like he gives me a side eye and then he just looks down, and I'm like, it's not personal. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not personal, but damn, like that. So let's get into it. Unfortunately, we gotta talk about the NBA Finals. I'll go first. Look, there's no other way to say it, but the Miami Heat were super outmatched. Like, they got that one game in game 2. Like, so many times I felt like they were really close to getting another game, especially that last game. Like, I think they were so close to extending the game 6, which, to be honest with you, I'm happy they lost where they did, because if you win that game and you extend to a game 6, like, you give my little heart, like, just a little bit of hope, like a little bit of hope. And then, like, if they would have lost, like, at home, like, I wouldn't, like, wanted to see that happen. It would just give me, like, Dallas Mavericks vibes all over again, which that was painful enough as it was. But honestly, look, I think size for the Miami Heat has been a problem ever since the 2020 finals. Like, it was obvious in that finals against the Lakers where they're just way too small. And Jokic was doing whatever he wanted. Like, he got the ball and literally just walked to the basket whenever he wanted. Murray, that was just another issue aside with itself. And then, of course, our role players, like, I think they left everything in that Celtics series. And then in the finals, just nothing happened. Jimmy, there has to be something wrong with Jimmy, because in that Celtics series, like, I would say after he got hurt in the New York series, I think it all changed from there. He was never himself again. Like, yeah, he gave spurts at the end of games where he was like, okay, he's coming alive. But he was never the same again, as we saw, like, in that Milwaukee series. And then in the finals, like, I don't know what it was. It was pissing me off. Every time he'd get the ball, it wasn't the aggressive Jimmy that we're used to seeing. Like, he would try to drive in and then hesitate and then try to find someone outside. And I'm like, drive the ball to the basket.
Yep.
I mean, if you looked at his jump, like, he couldn't even jump off the floor. So there had to be something wrong. Even though he says that there wasn't, there was something wrong. But, I mean, there's nothing more to say than they were just purely outmatched.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest things about this NBA Finals series really is that the Miami Heat during the regular season showed up in this NBA Finals. You run out too much gas going through the East, and then to have a team that shot 40+% as a team in the Eastern Conference Finals to shoot below 35%, close to 39% against the Denver Nuggets. And NBA's, and again, they were talking about like 0-4 Phoenix Suns have no match against any team in the NBA today. In the NBA, you need to score at least 115 points to even be considered of a winning chance in any of the games. How many games did the Miami Heat even have more than 100 points in this final series? 1, 2? Yeah. It was like watching 1994 basketball with Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning on the floor. It made no sense. And I know that the last time that we're on this podcast, because unfortunately we did miss out on an opportunity for the last for 2 weeks ago, because of course, winning a championship on Monday, which I guess Jokic didn't like at the time, didn't want to be at the parade. But I talked about this had to be a Bam Adebayo series, and it really much was a Bam Adebayo series.
He showed up.
Absolutely. The consistency, the guy was averaging at least 23 to even more points a game in this series. And Jimmy Butler himself, I know you talk about the ankle, but in reality perspective, Jimmy Butler give you about 20 a game. That's pretty much decent.
Yeah.
When you're looking at just the bigger picture of it, Caleb Martin in the Milwaukee series, Caleb Martin in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics, Gabe Vincent in the New York Knicks series. We're talking about two guys that really built up the starting lineup and honestly just the offense for the Miami Heat. Because obviously Jimmy Butler, first round, 56-point game, as well as that, game 5 take it to overtime to beat out the number 1 team and also top 5 defensive team in the NBA. And at the same time, he's still giving you 20 points a game. But if you don't have another guy giving you 20 points, if you don't have another guy that's giving you some sort of consistency, because Kyle Lowry, there'll be a game or two where he's playing like AI in 2001. But Caleb Martin, 9 points a game during the regular season. He averaged 19 points a game in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then you looked at the real Caleb Martin in the NBA Finals. And Max Strus, he's like Duncan Robinson. He either misses horribly, where you can hear the background of the backboard outside the arena, or he makes every single shot to go 9 and 10 for the day. If you ask me, the Miami Heat, and again, props to the Denver Nuggets. We're talking about a team that honestly I thought was going to win the championship throughout the entire way in the Western Conference if the Celtics weren't able to make it into the NBA Finals. But we're talking about a Denver Nuggets team that have beat out the Heat, I think, in the past 5 to 6 years during the regular season. And crazy enough, Game 2, that was the first win Miami has had in Denver since 2016, I believe. So this Denver team, they had the history and also a 2-time MVP on their side in Jokic, and also a kind of a hot take. But based on the numbers, we're talking about, a triple-double game for both Jamal Murray and Jokic in Game 3 in Miami. And, of course, Jokic throughout the entire playoffs averaging triple-doubles. If you ask me, this title run between the duo itself, and you can argue about competition, but it does rival that of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant in the early 2000s. In the sense of the numbers, and again, I'm a huge stat guy myself, but also just looking at it, it was kind of like, if these two are hot, there's not a chance anybody can match up. Not LeBron James, Anthony Davis, not Jimmy Butler with anybody on the floor of Bam Adebayo. And whoever they played in the first round, honestly, is more of an anomaly at this point because they went through them, 4 games, whatever. So if you ask me, this was a game that the Miami Heat should have not been a part of, a series that they shouldn't have been a part of. But of course, it's a good title run. And only one thing you can look positive in this. Damian Lillard is a Miami Heat point guard starting next year.
I don't think so.
That's another conversation, but that's what the rumors are. That's what the rumors are. Either that or Brooklyn, because again, Mikal Bridges is his guy. But the Heat themselves outclassed. They went back to regular season basketball, and they just didn't have enough juice out of Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent, who, of course, you had to figure out if you can even bring back Gabe Vincent for another year.
All right, who's up next?
I honestly totally agree though. They were totally outmatched. They were the number 8 seed out of the East facing the number 1 in the West. And I think that it was a lot of it had to do with Boston. They were up 3-0. And then Boston pushed it all the way to Game 7 and they were totally gassed after that series. And then when it came down to it, of course, Jokic, they had no match for Jokic because I don't think that the Heat have a true center just because Adebayo plays so much like a power forward. And I think that that's what they were really lacking because Jokic was probably the best player in the game and there was no competing with that.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, I apologize actually to Bam for I literally in that Celtics series, I really wanted to trade him. I really wanted to trade him.
Hey, he showed up.
Kyle Lowry, though. Him, I'm not forgiving.
You can't.
Jonka?
I'm going to put this. Listen. We all know what I said at the beginning before the beginning of this past season that just finished. I wasn't gonna watch any Heat game, and until the playoffs, I was like, once they beat Chicago, they're on the verge of losing to Chicago, by the way, in that second playing game. I was like, bro, are these people really about to prove me right, bro? Are they really gonna do me like that? And then all of a sudden, from that moment on, they start to make me watch them. They get my hopes up. I was like, bro, is an AC really gonna pull this off? Are they really gonna pull this off? And then they shove everything down my throat. They made my heart flutter, and I'm like, okay, we took Game 2, we tied this up, and then they yanked it from me. Listen, Max Stress. Jimmy Butler. I know he said he's not gonna admit or he was injured. So if he was on the court, then you're the one playing. I don't want to hear anything about injuries. You're on the court, you play. If you have an injury, spit it out so that we can forgive you for it. We won't go hard on you for it, all right? But just spit it out. But now you can't do that now. I have to give Adebayo, like you said, I'm gonna give Adebayo's props because I was one of those people who was like, yo, trade him now, please get him off the court. I don't know where that Adebayo was in that Boston series. That fadeaway shooting that he was just, I don't know where that came up from.
I don't know what it is. The man is scared of Al Horford, who's like 90.
Hey, Giannis was afraid of him. So the guy is the MVP stopper, okay? You can't be stopping Platino Power in the playoffs. The guy's just like golden, you know? He just shows up in the month of May.
All right, that's enough Celtics talk.
We just ripped it out of my heart that last game. Was the moment I saw Cody Zeller go start in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
The moment I saw Spoelstra call the most stupidest thing in the entire history of the NBA Finals to put in stupid ass Cody Zeller at center against Jokic, out of all people. No, let's not acknowledge the 4 other matchups, the games before. No. Yeah. The game that it's a do or die moment. Yeah. Let's put in Cody Zeller in. Yeah. You're a genius. Coach of the year. Mike, tú sabes, yeah. Listen. Rotations were stupid. Nobody showed up except for Bam. Jimmy was inconsistent. Max Strus here and there. Vincent with the fouling. Duncan Robinson was one game here, doesn't show up there. Spo puts in Kevin Love to start the game, and then just sits him out the whole rest of the game. And it was the most inconsistent thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm not gonna lie. The Cody Zeller one did piss me. Like for me, that's what lost the game right there. Is when they put in Cody Zeller. I was like, I literally almost threw my remote at the TV. I was like, what are you doing?
The moment they put in Cody Zeller, it was a Jokic low floater. Back up, Cody Zeller misses a 2-inch little tap in, misses it completely off the rim, breaks it. Jokic gets the rebound, passes it to Murray, 3 from the corner, bang. They take a 5-0 lead, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, Brandon. These are times where I was like, you know, I used to rank on Dwayne Dedmon so much. But now I kind of wish I had him back over Cody Zeller.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's hard to watch, Phantom of the Zeller because he's been a ghost of himself in the NBA Finals. But honestly, if you ask me what really made that Game 5, the last 2 offensive possessions of the Miami Heat, what was Jimmy doing in any of those?
I don't know.
He was like totally rattled. Like once they stopped hitting like 3-pointers, I was like, they're rattled. Like it's over. They're done.
Yep.
Denver was just too solid.
Yeah. It was just something I wasn't expecting out of a guy that has so much usage on the Miami Heat, where you have him trying to bail out inside the post when Jamal Murray's on him driving inside and tries to bail out to find Max Strus just to have it being stolen by 2-time champion Caldwell Pope. Crazy to even say that now. And then the next play, he tries to get bailed out again, finding Max Strus on the top of the perimeter, and then he's just forcing himself to, huck up a 3 last second. I mean, from what Jonko was saying, I totally do agree. Eric Spoelstra, he got outcoached. And that's like hard to say anytime. He got absolutely outcoached by Mike Malone.
Ridiculous.
It's funny. I was just watching an interview. It took me a couple of days. It was a long interview of Shannon Sharp and D Wade.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about, he's like, when Spoelstra first arrived on the scene, he was pissed because he was like, I was the superstar. I thought we were going to go get like a superstar coach. And then they came to me and they're like, oh, we're getting the video guy, Eric Spoelstra. He's like, what the hell? And he went to the office, to Pat Riley's office, and he wanted Spoelstra to get fired. And it was a good interview. He talked about the Dallas Mavericks when they lost to them in 2011, that the only loss, like the finals MVP should have been JJ Barea because they had no answer for JJ Barea. And I was like, that's crazy. It really was JJ doing all that stuff. But look, the Heat this offseason have been, like, right off the bat, pursuing Bradley Beal. Didn't get him. He ends up going to Phoenix, which, by the way, Durant, Beal, Booker, watch, they're still going to be a total flop. As much as I love KD, that's my favorite player. Yes, I'm sorry, you said KD is my favorite player. It's still not going to work. It's still not going to work. Watch. And then they send Chris Paul to Washington, who's supposedly going back to the Clippers. Now they're going after Damian Lillard. Like, that's their main target. But supposedly, after what he said this afternoon, is that he wants to stay in Portland, which, if he really does want to stay in Portland, he's not very serious about winning, because he's not going to win in Portland. No matter how much they try to convince him and tell him, we're going to make the team better, Portland is not going to do anything. And then they got Draymond Green on the radar, which I would like, because I think Draymond is a younger version of Udonis. He gives me like Udonis Haslam vibes. And don't give me that face over there, because you have your own problems with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who don't.
But do we want another Udonis Haslam on the Heat, though? Do we actually need another Udonis Haslam on the Heat right now?
Don't even get me started with that guy. Don't even get me started with him. Okay.
Either way, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I just think that in overall, this is, three things, takeaways. Washington Wizards now officially in rebuild mode. Of course, they're going to still wait on Kristaps Porzingis to re-sign in his option with the team for next season. But another takeaway, because, I mean, Danny, I totally agree with you, though. This is going to be a huge flop for the Phoenix Suns. When you look at the roster now, it's a skeleton. 5 guys guaranteed contracts. You got, and this is including Bradley Beal, who has the top 3, top 2 most highest paid player type of contract that he signed with Washington. Devin Booker has $209 million guaranteed. I mean, they're going to get taxed. I mean, you might as well have the entire city of Phoenix find a way to get a bank or something like that to pay at least 5 of these guys on roster, being that, of course, of Cameron Payne, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton and Okogie, I believe, as well. But yes, I mean, honestly, this is going to be just like the Cleveland Cavaliers in the sense of you're going to have 4 guys playing 38 to 40 minutes a game throughout the entire year. And this is going to not work in the playoffs. By that time, guys are going to get injuries. And of course, at the end of the day, I mean, when there's no help in your bench, especially in the Western Conference, like at least 10 teams have an all-star in the West. As crazy as that sounds, you look up and down. Even the Pelicans got an all-star in Brandon Ingram, and hopefully Zion Williamson if he does come back. So for the Phoenix Suns, it's going to be a very, very busy offseason for them. But also I wanted to go into because I know you talked about the idea of Damian Lillard. I know Damian Lillard has been very vocal about he does not care about the accolades, the championships, the fact that he's already made it.
Why are you like?
Because what I think is that similar to what Bradley Beal did, he had a chance to go to the Boston Celtics, chance to go to the Miami Heat, and any other place that he wanted to last season. But he did that, re-signed with the Wizards, 5 years, $200+ million. And at the end of the day, he got paid. He was like a top 3 overall paid player in the NBA, right next to Giannis Antetokounmpo, which he shouldn't be. I mean, we're talking about a guy that averages 23 a game for his entire career, and last season was riddled with injuries. But for Damian Lillard himself, and of course the rumors all sparked because of that one interview, I believe, with I do apologize if I butcher the guy's name if it is not his name, but I believe for the TNT crew, Chris Hayes, who was really close with Damian. He asked him that question, said, "Oh, Miami's really cool. Bam's my guy. Brooklyn, Mikal Bridges is my guy." I think he's just talking. I really don't believe the rumors. Of course, I think Miami, from the reports, is thinking that, we're thinking of bigger things. But what else bigger than Damian Lillard, who is probably not even going to leave the West Coast? I mean, what are you going to get? Chris Middleton? Maybe. But besides that, I mean, the Miami Heat themselves, Bradley Beal was the big jump. And I don't know what it was. Bradley Beal, of course, according to his contract, has the option to talk to, specifically the teams that are looking for trades, because he can, either veto or sign off on a trade. And I believe Shams from The Athletic said that he only did that for the Suns. I can only imagine for a few reasons why.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Bradley Beal going to the Suns, joining Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, I really thought that he was going to make them like a super team. Personally, I really wanted him to come to the Heat, but I get how it is. As far as Damian Lillard, the future looks bright in Miami, and I think this past season proved it. And I think that if you didn't want to win, then why are you playing? Because Miami, clearly the future looks bright here. The only place that probably looks brighter is in Denver, but I don't know. I still think that they should be this offseason looking for a true center because I think that's what really stopped them in the finals. They were no match for Jokic, and if they want another chance at this, they really do need to find a true center.
They need to find something. They need to find something because I swear to God, if they come on and say, let's run it back again with the same roster, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself because I can't. Like, they need something because if they make it back, let's say they make it back to the finals with this same roster, I don't think they'll win with this same roster. They're going to find themselves in the same exact situation they've had last year and they've had in 2020 with size being a problem. And then finally, they just need to make their shots because in the finals, they just didn't make anything. But I agree with you. Like, they need to find a center. My dream center, if we had Joel Embiid, I'm sorry, look, as good as Jokic is, I feel like Embiid, and Brandon's giving me a face, but if we had Embiid, I feel like he would have locked up Jokic. I believe it. I feel like it would have happened.
The man has not made it out of the second round.
But you're talking about the Sixers. Like, the Sixers are just a trash organization. Like, they put pieces around him that won't work. Like, you have James Harden, who's not even focused. He's just focused on going to strip clubs in Philadelphia and Houston. Like, what do you expect? Like,
look, if you ask me, like, the next time that Joel Embiid averages a triple-double in the playoffs, let me know. But besides that, I got Jokic by a mile.
It has to be in the right situation. If you put Embiid in Miami and they get that Heat culture instilled into him and they get his body right and his mentality right, I promise you he's getting another MVP.
They need something for sure. They need a change because there's no way. They're not coming back like this again. Clearly, it didn't work before. It's not going to work again this season.
No, definitely not. I mean, what do you guys think? You guys think we should stick with Cody Zeller? We should put him in the center.
Jonka, I think you want to go first on this one.
I'm gonna put this. Listen. If let's say we keep this score, let's say we don't get Lillard. Obviously, we didn't get Beal. I'm gonna have to start looking at Pat Riley saying, "Hey, listen, bro, it's okay. You don't got it anymore. Just leave. Hire a new manager, and just start with a new guy, bro. And then plus." I would also, if let's say we don't get anybody, and let's say we do make the finals again with the same roster. In 2020, we lost our two leading scorers, Bam and Goran Dragic.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, we lost that finals. This finals.
Hold up, you're missing an important piece though. Someone that I've been telling you since 2020 that we should have never let go. I would have never let go of Jay Crowder. I love Jay Crowder.
And then this year we didn't have Oladipo and we didn't have Hero. It's like every single time we make the finals, we're always injured in our offense or defensively. So I think we could have been the Lakers in 2020. To be honest, we did go 6 games. If we would have had Bam and Dragic fully healthy, I think we would have gone 7. I think we would have beaten them. 2. That's my opinion. Now this past one, I don't know. That's a little here or there. You can say whatever you want, but yeah, no. If Pat Riley doesn't get something done this year, will make us significantly better. Because like I said before the season, we lost PJ Tucker. Who else did we lose?
The joke's on him because
joke's on him.
Yeah, the second round.
I kind of wish we had PJ Tucker in that situation. We would have been able to lock up Aaron Gordon or some one of those big guys to I don't know, hold them to something because forget about it.
Yeah, if they don't do anything, they're gonna have to just
think
like LA Fitness and finding some more undrafted guys.
I think the Milwaukee Bucks are gonna re-sign him, but go for Brook Lopez, go for some big defensive guys. Maybe try to contact Dwight Howard for a veteran.
Yes, bring him back from Taiwan.
Because apparently there's something going on with Taiwan that they want to take away 60% of his overall payroll. So there's some drama there. Bring him to a veteran $2 million per year. That fills in Udonis's dumbass spot. And then he was in that finals in 2020, so he has experience already. And we know Dwight Howard, he's a veteran, and he's fun to be around, and he wants to win. So you got a big guy. So let's say if we meet the Nuggets again in the finals this coming year, We got Dwight Howard at the 5. We can move Adebayo to the 4, where he could be the next Chris Bosh if he wants to be, whatever he wants to do. But we need a point guard. I don't know who you need to pick up. If the Clippers want to sign Chris Paul and get rid of Russell Westbrook, go ahead. To be honest, I'll take Russell Westbrook at this point.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Because, listen, as much as I like how Lowry's shooting, he shot from 3 pretty well.
I don't like it
in the finals. Listen.
That gives me a heart attack.
You don't think if we had Russell Westbrook this finals, the way he hustles for rebounds, assists, and all how he fights would have benefited us a little bit? Because Lowry was so slow.
Yeah, but what it would say though, because Gabe Vincent, I'm just saying, because Gabe Vincent was a majority starter throughout these NBA playoffs, especially late in these playoffs.
Yeah.
If you ask me, Miami, and of course, whatever happens with the Damian Lillard, we have to see afterwards. But they found their point guard in Vincent. Gabe Vincent, to me, has shown enough to reason why he should be a starter. I think he's a really efficient guy. Offensively, he can definitely get you a couple of buckets. And especially when I look at Game 3, let's say, of the Eastern Conference Finals, we had a career high in the postseason, 29 points. I mean, the guy can get on fire easily, and he moves things around. But what I would say, and especially because when you're looking at the big guys, Cody Zeller. Cody's gone.
Fuera.
Cody's gone. He had a $500,000 contract for half of the season.
I'm dropping his ass off at the YMCA.
Yes, and I would definitely get rid of him immediately. But in a sense of who replace, I totally agree with Jonka. I think Brook Lopez has to be a priority if you're not able to get Damian Lillard. Talk about finalists for Defensive Player of the Year recently. And, of course, a former All-Star when he had games in Brooklyn. But just from this offseason, if you don't get Damian Lillard and Milwaukee Bucks, I don't really know what's going on over there. They got a new head coach. I don't think there's going to be a lot of, progression off of that. Middleton might leave. Brook Lopez might leave. And Miami just take advantage of that.
Yeah, I also totally agree with Jonka. They were struggling with the rebounds, and Lowry was slow. And you got to do what you got to do.
It's not even that. I don't think they talk about the Heat culture, which works. Like you get people fit and stuff like that, but not for Lowry. Like the 2 years he's been here, this guy looks like he's been at Pinecrest Bakery eating patelitos like the entire time he's been in Miami. Like it hasn't even worked. Anyways, let's talk about Stanley Cup Finals. This was another finals series, to be honest with you, that it was outmatched. Like Las Vegas was really, really, really good. I mean. Really they're winning games 7-2. Like it was bad. Partially the Brandon was wearing the jersey every single time, and every time he wore it, we lost. But he's wearing the USA shirt now, which now I'm concerned. But
Joe,
it was bad. It was bad. Same thing. I'm happy that the Heat didn't go down the same way the Panthers did. But they had no chance after the first game against Las Vegas. I know, Brandon, you're bigger into hockey, so if you want to take it away. Yeah,
I mean, I don't even know where to start for this series though. From the first 2 games in Vegas, it was just
nothing to say.
It really is nothing to say. I think Sergei Bobrovsky had a phenomenal playoffs until he made it to the Stanley Cup final. And again, bravo to the Panthers, first time in 27 years getting to that Stanley Cup finals. But of course, when you look at it, I mean, what was it like? They scored 7 goals or whatever like that in the first, game 1 or game 2 in Vegas. Then you go to the Sunrise, and it's game 3 was a close one, but the Panthers able to etch it out. And game 4, I cannot believe game 4 how we lost that one. I mean, Vegas is pounding on Kachuk, which is basically our star player throughout this entire playoffs. Barkov is looking like a shell of himself as well. Gudis was not much of an aggression. But you have guys like Bennett, right? You have guys like Montour, who showed up, but they didn't show out in the moments we needed them in. So for the Panthers themselves, game 3, that was a really close, really good win. Game 4, they should have won that one. And then game 5, I mean, we all saw the score.
Yeah.
Allowing 9 goals, and let alone a regular preseason game, 9 goals is unacceptable. I turned off the TV by the second period. I mean, the Vegas Knights scored 4 goals in a span of 5 minutes in the second period. It was over. They were outclassed. But also their goaltender Hill, though. That guy's phenomenal.
Listen, God love my mom, man. Like, she's one of the most like optimistic, positive people. Like, we're here sitting. I'm not even watching the game anymore. Like, I'm on my phone, and it's like 9-1, and they score another one. It's like 9-2, and she's like, "Look, we got another one." And I'm like, it doesn't even matter anymore. Like, why are you getting excited? But yeah, it was depressing. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather lose. I asked Jonka this question the other day. I think I'd rather lose in the first round than make it to the finals and then just be depressed for a long time in Cancun.
Yeah, and also another thing, the injuries though. I mean, you saw like I think Kachuk had like a broken rib,
Sternum, or you had sternum or something like that?
Sternum as well, yeah, sternum, ACL, MCL, whatever you want to say. The entire roster was so riddled. It was ridiculous the fact that even like was on the ice though. So again, congrats to the Panthers for getting to that point, but also at the same time, kind of embarrassing to go out like that in 5 games. Not gonna lie to you.
I honestly I didn't think we were gonna win. I was hopeful, but then I didn't expect this annihilation of 9-3 because that was just crazy. And then I kept telling myself, okay, to check us out for game 4, but for game 5, and so I was like, okay, if we can just push it to maybe game 7, he'll come back and it's gonna be great. And then we got killed. But also credit where credit's due with the Vegas Golden Knights, because they're a fairly new expansion team, and they just played their first season 2017, and they're a super solid team, and we were totally outmatched, but I still had so much hope.
I'm not gonna lie to you, even though we got annihilated, a trip to Vegas Stanley Cup Finals, that would have been really nice. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It would have been epic. I would have died because that was embarrassing, but I mean, it's still fun.
Yeah, it's even we get annihilated, you can't exit that arena and be upset in Las Vegas. You can't. I've never seen. I saw this tweet the other day. And it's so true. I've never seen someone upset on a flight going to Las Vegas. I've never seen it. Maybe on the way back because you lost all your money in the casino, but going, I've never seen it. So even we got annihilated, I would have not been upset. I'd be okay, we're in Vegas. Let's go do stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something. John, do you have anything on this final series?
Listen, all I can say is I think congratulations to the Golden Knights, first of all. I mean, they played well. They played a hell of a series. They were obviously the better team. They had the Stanley Cup experience already on their first year as a franchise. I think that helped them a lot. I mean, we have to just go into offseason trying to fix whatever we can. We still have the goal in Bobrovsky, so that's a good thing. Let everybody get healthy. We took the experience and we carry that into next season. Hopefully, we can be a little bit better than an 8th seed. That will help us in our favor. But I gotta say this, bro. Is there some practical joke going on with Florida teams now that we just make it almost all the way and then we just finish either last or third or fourth? Basketball, football, baseball, everything, we're always finishing in either last or just right before we get there.
Florida loves the 8th seed. I'm convinced. There's nothing else that they can do. They're just 8th seed people, and I respect.
Listen to me. And we're going to talk about them later, but if the Marlins somehow make it to the World Series or win the World Series, this city is going to set itself on fire. I guarantee it's going to set itself on fire.
I'll dye my hair blue.
You're going to be like Jazz Chisholm.
Let's go.
Anyway, this is a topic that I'm sure Brandon's going to be very excited and Jonka too. We're going to be very excited to talk about it. Look, this is an organization I used to work for. I know the ins and outs of it very well. I'm not particularly fond of this player. I respect him a whole lot, but not a player I'm particularly fond of. But yes, Messi is joining Inter Miami. Apparently, they're getting Sergio Busquets coming also from Barcelona. And then I think Jordi Alba might be joining Inter Miami as well. Another Barcelona guy. look, you guys know me. I absolutely, with every single part of my soul, hate Barcelona because I am a Madrid fan. Die hard through and through. Hate Barcelona. I also don't like Argentina. I respect Messi. I don't like Messi. I'm just making this known. I'm a Cristiano Ronaldo guy. I'm just making it known. I still don't. Look, people are gonna hate me. I still think Ronaldo's the GOAT. But yeah, he's coming. He's coming to Fort Lauderdale, not Miami. They have ways to go. They're now putting in bleachers into Drive Pink Stadium because there's no way they're gonna fit. I mean, think about it, guys. It's an 18,000 capacity stadium. Like, people are gonna want to come see Messi play. Like, they don't even have security guards when players like to get to the stadium. Players walk from the training facility, which is across the parking lot, to the locker room, like without no security. That cannot happen with Messi. Like, that is not gonna happen with Messi. I'm sure they'll try to figure something out with that. They don't have a parking lot, by the way, which is gonna be another issue because Fort Lauderdale took away their parking lot. We know that story. It's gonna be a mess, but I don't think Messi coming to Inter Miami was a move of I'm coming to Miami for the team. I think he's coming to Miami for two reasons. One, it's close to Argentina and he's ready for retirement soon. Two, what they gave him in the deal, it was a business transaction, let's be honest. He gets a part, listen, every new subscriber, which now we all look like idiots, which I'm already a subscriber, so it doesn't affect me, but any new subscriber to MLS and Apple TV, he gets a percentage of your money. Adidas makes the MLS jerseys. So any sale on any Adidas MLS merchandise, he gets a cut of that. And then he gets part ownership of any MLS team that he would like. So, I mean, it makes sense why he turned down the $1 billion from Saudi Arabia. I would have gone to Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to lie, because it's $1 billion. But it was more of a business transaction, him coming here. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be the negative guy, but I've been obviously, again, worked in and around this club. And I've continued to watch this club, obviously. Yes, they're getting some new players that they're going to help Messi, but they're still going to be garbage. Like, they're still going to be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Like, I think bringing Messi, he's going to get here, he's going to look around, and he's going to say, what the hell is this crap? And it's going to be a big-time struggle. Hopefully the players that they bring around him, which they are on the older side already, will help him. But that's all I got to say. It was just a business transaction for him to come here.
Yeah, but what I would say about Messi, though, coming to Inter Miami, I mean, it's not like he's lost his step. I mean, we're talking about a guy that coming off of a World Cup, multiple international goals. What do you like 32 to 35 overall goals in his time at PSG in his one season there. And, from whoever he brings with him, I mean, Alba just won, the Nations League in Europe with Spain. I mean, these are guys that are coming off of championships, guys who are coming off of, basically, real professional accolades.
I get you. I hear you, but you understand it's a disease. Like, they join Inter Miami and they automatically forget how to play the sport. Like, it is a disease.
Well, but also because I know you talked about they're still going to be terrible. I still believe they're going to be terrible. Like, we're talking about the 15th team of the East, probably the worst in the MLS right now, next to LA Galaxy. But when you just imagine this, though, a rebuild mid-season, and there's still technically a chance to make playoffs. Does it work? That's the real question. I mean, if it works, and again, this means that Messi, if he does end up, doing the whole thing, making the playoffs, potentially winning the MLS Cup. I mean, how many players have won in the Eastern and Western Hemisphere, let alone in his category? Not a lot. Would that put him over Cristiano Ronaldo for you?
Okay, listen. At 35 years old, Messi's coming to play in Inter Miami in MLS. And he's going to be scoring hat tricks and the like, so like on a Tuesday night against the Columbus Crew. When Ronaldo was 35, guy was scoring hat tricks in the Champions League against Atletico and playing for Juventus. I think that's the difference. Cristiano will always be the GOAT for me. Always. No matter what. You know why? Because you put Messi in PSG in France. Like, yes, he had to feed Mbappe and Neymar and stuff like that. I get it, but you took him out of that Barca system and nothing. Like, Ronaldo has been successful in England, Spain, Italy. He's going to win something in Saudi Arabia. Again, I respect Messi. I think he is one of the top players in the world. I really do. But I would have loved to see him play somewhere like the Premier League, obviously in his younger days. Somewhere else to see if he can prove himself successful. Yeah, he won titles in PSG, but he struggled. He struggled in Paris. He really did. Ronaldo is scoring more goals in Saudi Arabia than Messi did in France. But it is what it is. He's in MLS now. He's going to be smoking a cigar while playing because I think that's how it'll be for him. This is going to be easy for him. He's on vacation. He's going to go down to Graciano's to get himself an Argentine steak, and he's going to enjoy himself. And that's just what it is. It'll be good. It's good for the sport of for American soccer. I think it's great. I like that. I like growing the game here for sure because you guys don't understand how sick and tired I am of. Oh, what sport do you play? Oh, I play soccer. Oh, that's so boring. I'm like, yes, only here in America. Like, it's growing, but here in America, like, it gets on my nerves. And no one appreciates it.
I am a Leo Messi fan. Just throwing that out there. My dad was a Barcelona fan, and so like I kind of grew up a little bit indoctrinated. But I don't think this is just a win for Inter Miami. I think it's kind of a win for the MLS because it's going to draw a huge Hispanic crowd. People are going to go because they love Barcelona and they love Messi and Busquets, and they're also going to go because they're Real Madrid fans and they hate Messi and Busquets. And so I think it's just going to pack the crowds and it's like getting to say you got to see the greatest of all time. Not to say that he was the greatest of all time, but like personally, I think Tom Brady was the greatest of all time. And like, what would I give to be able to see Tom Brady play one more time, or to go see him play, or to tell my grandkids like I saw Tom Brady play? Like, it's the same thing, but with Leo Messi.
I just thought you said that. I thought it's something so funny. Like my mind, like it's so sad. My life is so sad as a sports fan. Like Real Madrid is the only one that gives me some sort of happiness. Like you said that, and I was like, well, I saw Dak Prescott in person. Does that count?
What would I give to see Dak Prescott too? But
I don't know. I still gonna have to go with Michael Jordan being the greatest of all time, like athlete of all time. I still have to go with Jordan. Brady's close. Brady is very close. I mean, if we're gonna talk about technicality, then Bill Russell, but those were different days. I don't know where our friendship stands because like I'm very happy you're a Cowboys fan. I found another Cowboys fan, but like now that you said Barcelona and like my hate is really strong for them. I don't know where we stand. So
I mean, I'm not super into soccer. I am a little bit like teetering on like that. It's not boring, but it's just not my thing. I'm definitely a hardcore football person, but I can look past. I can get with Real Madrid to save our friendship.
Okay, I respect that. Let's see. Wait, do we hate the same team though? Like, for me, I can't stand. Like, I cannot. And Jonka and Brandon know I cannot stand for my life. I hate the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, so I can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I really do love Jalen Hurts and I love Jason Kelce. I really do stand behind Jason Kelce. I love him and I love Jalen Hurts' story just because I really hate Alabama. And I hate them so much.
You're Jonka's friend right now. That's it.
Hey, the whole panel hates Bama. Come on.
I hate Bama, and I hate what they did to him in Alabama. And I'm so glad that he paid them back in the Super Bowl because, like, Mac Jones is great. He came from Alabama. Tua is okay. But, they kicked out Jalen Hurts. This guy took him all the way. Come on now.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I still hate the Eagles with my entire life. It's like for me, it's Eagles, Giants, and then like Commanders I don't give a crap about because they haven't been relevant in like years.
That's so yeah. I like the Commanders the most. out of our competitors in the NFC East. Just because I don't think they're competition.
I respect that. You know what? I respect that. That's solid. Okay, let's talk about the Marlins. Currently sitting second of the NL East, and they're first in an NL wildcard spot. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did like the moves they made in the offseason, but if you asked me in the offseason if I thought they would be where they're at right now, I probably would have told you either I don't know or no. And I'm very surprised how well they're doing. Honestly, like, it's not even Sandy. Like, Sandy's having an okay year, but it's this new kid they got, Yuri Perez.
Yep.
It's been really impressive. And then Luis Ariz has been absolutely insane, and his batting average got up to 409 at one point. And they're sweeping series. I mean, they just swept the Nationals. And then before that, I mean, I know they lost a series recently against the Mariners, but before that, they had swept like 2 or 3 series in a row. I like it. I think the talent's starting to show. I'm liking that the attendance is finally somewhat going up in Lone Depot Park. I think it's promising. I think the Marlins are looking promising.
Absolutely. I mean, what I think about the Marlins, though, I mean, that's like the one South Florida team that hasn't really won a lot in the past decade. To just see the ballpark being filled up again at Lone Depot Park. And I mean, as I mentioned before, Sandy, but it's also, I mean, Luis. I mean, what did the Marlins like win? They had like, 10 runs? Luis went 5 of 5 at bats. I mean, he's hitting like over 400.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. This is an unheard of season in Marlins history. So, unfortunately, the Atlanta Braves are still, killing right now in the MLB. But the Marlins, I mean, if they keep on this going on, and again, we still have to wait for the later months going up on that of July, August, and of course September, where that's really where, the bunch of, what does this team look like going into potentially postseason play. But the Marlins themselves, they're on a good track right now. And honestly, I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with their farm system. I think that their scouting right now is totally unmatched. Yuri Perez, 19-year-old kid out of the DR, 100 miles an hour he's pitching. Like, that's crazy, and that's all to do with their scouting system. But then I do think a lot of it has to do with their managing change, because Don Mattingly made some questionable decisions.
Yeah.
And I didn't love how long he was keeping the pitchers in. They were just hitting off him, and it was like brutal to watch. And now, like, Skip Shoemaker is being a little bit more free and like not so shy to like change it up. And I think that is helping them a ton.
Yeah, I think it was time for Mattingly to retire, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
it's just like that one teacher that you have in high school who has been there just like far too long, and like they don't give a crap anymore, and everything is hitting the fan, and it's just horrible, and it's time for that teacher to retire. Like, that was Don Mattingly.
Yeah,
for sure. Jonka, I know you're most likely, when the Yankees come here to Miami, you're probably going.
Yeah, my brother wants to go. And my brother's annoying because he wants to go to a Marlins game with me for some reason. So I might, I'm sure I might go. Hopefully Aaron Judge and everybody, is playing a little bit better by the time we get there, but I really don't care. But at this point, like I said a couple of months ago, when I think I made what's it called, plug of the week for when we picked up Luis Arias.
Yeah,
we haven't seen our socials, or wherever they are, right here, down here. I said, but what have I told you guys for months now, maybe years already, since we've been doing this podcast? The Marlins need pitching, and we need consistent hitting. Consistent hitting. Get the ball in the field and get those runs in. We need to score. We can have the Marlins even scored more than 10 runs. Yeah, actually
today.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's funny how that worked out.
Gurriel, Soler, Arias. I think we need maybe two more hitters that are consistent, and maybe 1 or 2 more pitchers. I think we can do something with that. But apparently, there's rumors that things aren't really working out in the Angels with Ohtani. So there might be a bidding war in the MLB for Ohtani. I don't know who's gonna win it. Hopefully, it's my Yankees because we really need pitching. But if I'm the Marlins, I would try to go as much as possible for Ohtani.
Listen, all I gotta say, Isa, as you get to know Jonka, you either love him or you hate him. Like, there's no in between. This guy's a Patriots fan. This guy's a Yankees fan. Like, I have seen this guy struggle mentally against the Houston Astros. Like, the Yankees were winning all the way to the end. We're at an IHOP, and Altuve hits a home run to send the Astros to the World Series. And this guy, without even saying anything, he got up, he left, got in his car, and he left. Like, he got in his car and he left.
I can respect a good Patriots fan. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you.
What do you? I don't know where this friendship stands anymore. I really don't.
I respect him.
We need to hear more on the podcast.
I love Belichick. I think Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, and so I respect.
All right, you see, Daniel, you see.
I don't know, bro. I don't know where this. Who invited her here? I don't know where this friendship is going. When she told me she was a Cowboys fan, like, it was going well. I was like, okay, another Cowboys fan. I respect that. Now she says she likes Jalen Hurts and Kelsey. It's a little sus. That's a little sus to me as a Cowboys fan. That's sus.
I'm not rooting for them, but I respect Jalen Hurts.
Do you like Tua?
I don't. I think he's all right, but he's all right.
Hey, could have said it better myself.
I don't know. When I put this all together, like, I picked such interesting characters. The Yankees and Patriots fan. We got this guy over here with the stupid Celtics, and we got you now saying, "Oh, I respect the Patriots." I don't know. I don't know where we're going here. I don't know where
underestimate us this year. This year, don't underestimate us. Once we get DeAndre Hopkins, ain't anybody be messing around with us.
I don't know, bro. You need someone to throw him the football. I don't have that much confidence in Mac Jones.
With a top 10 defense like ours?
I don't know, man. Maybe we should focus getting out of the division first. How about that? Maybe we should focus about that first.
Hey, we had Matt Patricia as our offensive coordinator, and we were one game away from eliminating the Dolphins out of all teams and the Jets.
Look, it's that time of year, and I'm gonna say it because it's a Cowboys fan thing. I mean, Issa would understand. It's Monday, June 19th. The Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, baby. We're going all the way. We're going all the way.
But I don't think Dak is going to take him all the way, personally. He's a franchise quarterback, and that's great for him. And they're not going to change him because he's the face of everything, but he's not going to take us all the way.
You know what? As much as that breaks my heart because he seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. Well, anyways, we're getting to football talk. That's going to conclude our show for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, watching. Make sure you follow us on all social media. And we'll be back next Monday for episode 98. Again, getting close to number 100. We're going to have a celebration for sure. We'll see you guys next week and have a great rest of your week.